持ち悪い。
In a world that often feels too loud, some voices remain painfully silent. A Silent Voice, or Koino Katachi, is not just a beautiful anime film from Kyoto Animation. It's a raw, unflinching mirror held up to our mental health struggles: bullying, crushing guilt, depression, social anxiety, and suicidal thought, and the long, messy road towards forgiveness and self-acceptance. The story follows Shoya Ishida, a boy whose childhood cruelty towards a deaf girl named Shoko Nishimiya sets off a chain reaction of pain that echoes through both their life. But more than a bullying story, it is a profound psychological journey about how our action and the harm we cause to receive can fracture the mind, and how healing, when it comes, is never simple or complete. Today, we'll explore the entire film in depth, breaking down its portrayal of mental health with empathy and honesty. We'll examine how bullying does not just hurt the victim, it destroys the bully's soul too. How guilt can become a life sentence, how trauma whispers lies of worthlessness, and ultimately how human connection, however awkward or painful, can light the way back from the darkness. If you ever felt broken by your past, carried invisible scar, or wondered whether redemption is possible, this story speaks directly to you. But a content warning: this film and this video discusses suicide, severe depression, and bullying. If you are in a dark place, please reach out for help. You're not alone. When Shoko Nishimiya transfers into Shoko's class, she brings her gentle spirit and a notebook to communicate. She is deaf. Instead of curiosity or kindness, the class led by energetic Shoya responds with cruelty. They mock her voice, tear her notebook, steal and destroy her expensive hearing aid, and isolate her completely. From a mental health perspective, this is a textbook bullying trauma. For Shoko, every act of rejection reinforces a deep belief: I am a burden, my existence causes trouble for others. Children who experience this often internalize shame that follows them into adulthood, leading them to anxiety, low self-esteem, and chronic self-blame. Shoko smiles through the pain, constantly writing "I'm sorry" even though she has done nothing wrong. This people-pleasing is a form of trauma response, a desperate attempt to minimize conflict and earn basic self-acceptance. For Shoya and the other children, the bullying started as a thoughtless fun, seeking social status and laughs, but the film does not let us dismiss it lightly. When the school finally intervenes, the group turns on Shoya. He becomes the scapegoat. In one devastating moment, the boy who sought belonging through cruelty loses everything. This early experience plants the seed in his later mental health collapse: shame, abandonment, fear, and a fractured sense of self. The movie brilliantly shows that bullying is not just kids being kids, it's a psychological violence that reshapes developing brain. Victims may develop hypervigilance and depression. Bullying often carry unresolved guilt that fester into self-loathing. Bystanders live with regret for their silence. No one escapes untouched. Years later, we meet a teenage Shoya who is a shell of his former self. He has withdrawn from society, works a dead-end job, and views the world as literal X over people's face, a visual metaphor for his self-imposed emotional disconnection. He cannot look anyone in the eye because he believes they see him as a monster as he once was. This is a powerful depiction of major depressive disorder fueled by overwhelming guilt. Shoya ruminates constantly on his past. He experienced anhedonia, social anxiety so severe it feels paralyzing, and a sense of hopelessness. The film shows him methodically preparing for suicide, quitting his job, gathering money for his mother, standing on the bridge ready to jump. What makes this so affecting is how realistically it portrays the bully's inner world. Guilt becomes all-consuming. Shoya doesn't regret hurting Shoko, he hates the version of himself capable of such cruelty. He believes the only way to atone is to erase himself. This reflects real psychology. Many former bullies suffer long-term mental health issues, including depression, suicidal thought, especially when they gain self-awareness. His mother's quiet discovery of his pain adds another layer, showing how mental illness can affect entire families, often in an unspoken way. When the story centers on Shoya's redemption, it never forgets Shoko's pain. She has grown into a soft-spoken, kind young woman who still carries deep scars. She blames herself for the bullying, for Shoko's suffering, and for the trouble she causes her family. This is a victim's self-blame, a survival mechanism that turns trauma inward. Shoko's mental health struggle manifests as low self-worth, social withdrawal, and eventual suicidal ideation. She learns to mask her pain with smile, a common response in those who fears of being a burden. Her deafness adds another dimension, the isolation of disability in an unaccommodating world, which compounds her emotional loneliness. The film treats her pain with grace and dignity, showing that victims are not just passive recipients of pain, they are complex individuals fighting their own battle with shame and depression. When Shoya seeks out Shoko to apologize, their reconnection is messy and realistic, filled with anxiety, misunderstanding, and vulnerability. This section explores how healing begins through effort, discomfort, and learning another person's language. The introduction of other characters shows mental health as a shared experience. All bullies carry their own regret, friendship forms awkwardly. The group dynamic forces everyone to confront their own past action ripple outward. We see social anxiety in real time, Shoya's heart racing, hesitation, and gradual lowering of defense as he removes the X mark from his vision. This part highlights the recovery often requires community. Isolation worsens mental illness. Connection, even imperfect, begins to heal. Tensions peak when old wound reopens. Shoko, overwhelmed by guilt, attempts suicide. Shoya's frantic effort to save her becomes a turning point. In the aftermath, tears, confession, and anger, both characters voices their pain. Shoko reveals she never hated him. Shoya admits his suicidal plans, but he chooses to live. This climax shows mental health recovery is non-linear. There are setbacks, relapses, and breakthroughs. True redemption isn't grand forgiveness, it's choosing to live and trying day by day. The symbolic removal of X represents Shoya's finally seeing himself and others with clarity and compassion. A silent voice teaches us that mental health struggles are deeply human. Bullying leaves invisible scar on everybody involved. Guilt can suffocate, but it can also motivate mental growth. Forgiveness of others, especially our own self, is possible, though rarely easy. It's okay to be still broken while trying to get better. Reaching out, no matter how scary, is the first step towards healing. Victims and perpetrator both need compassion and support. Never underestimate the long-term impact of cruelty. If the story resonates with you, you know that your silent voice matters, your pain is valid, and there is always a chance to write a new chapter. Reach out to friends, family, or professional. You deserve to be heard.
Ishida 君、どこへ行くの？
どこ行くかってパン屋ゆずるに頼まれて恋の餌
持ってある。ゆぎゅ食べたかっただけ。Ishida 君、
西宮
タイムかなってみに。
手話
ただいおえ。
Thank you for watching this deep dive. If it helped or moved you, share your thoughts below. Take care of your mental health today and every day. This is a news channel and your support would mean the world to me. I'm currently unemployed and going through my own mental health struggles. So any donation via the Patreon link below would really help me continue creating these videos.